Welcome to this video, converting between standard units of measure. By the end of this video, you should be able to convert between standard units of measure, which are the units of measures used in the United States most frequently. All right, so this is a process known as dimensional analysis, and so in dimensional analysis, it's what we use to convert between different types of units. For example, from changing from feet into miles. And the way we're going to do this is using something called a conversion factor. Your conversion factor is a ratio or a fraction of numbers and units that equal 1, and the ratio will be written as a fraction. So, for example, a lot of us already know that 12 inches equals 1 foot. Well, that can be written as a conversion factor of 1 foot divided by 12 inches. And that's equal to 1 because the 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. So even though the numbers aren't all 1, they're equivalent to each other. So something divided by itself is equal to 1. All right, so let's go over a couple of the most common conversion factors that we want to look at. So like we just talked about, 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 yard is 3 feet, which is 36 inches. 1 mile is 1,760 yards, which is equivalent to 5,280 feet. Okay, so those are our major distances that we want to cover. Then we have some weight. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. And then 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. All right, and then we have some volume conversions that we like to, our time. The time is the one that most people are the most familiar with. So 1 year is 52 weeks and 365 days. 1 day in hours is 24 hours. 1 hour is 60 minutes, and 1 minute is 60 seconds. All right, and for our last section with our volume, this is where you would use a lot of this in the kitchen. So I'm going to start at the bottom and move up because that's the way a lot of people memorize it. It kind of makes sense. So if you have a 1 cup measuring cup, that's equal to 8 ounces. If you have a pint is the same as 2 cups. If you have a quart, you can buy ice cream in a quart. A quart is 2 pints. And if you have a gallon, like you buy milk, a gallon is 4 quarts. All right, so we're going to be using this to help us create conversion factors like we had right here to change from one unit of measure to another. Let's go ahead and flip this over and try some. All right, so looking at our first problem, we want to know how many seconds are there in 10 hours. And there's a particular way we want to get in the habit of setting these up because it will help us make some decisions as the problems get more complicated. And it will also be helpful to you when you move on to chemistry. They use the same format when they change units in chemistry. So it's telling us we're going to start with 10 hours. So we always start, we write down what we're starting with. And there's only 1 unit here. In a couple days, we'll be doing more than 1 unit, but this is only 1 unit, so I'm just going to write it over 1 right now to help me get started. Okay, and I'm going to kind of draw a line, and I'm going to make a fraction next to it. And what this is we're going to end up doing some multiplication between each of these fractions. So, to get to seconds, I need to go from hours to minutes to seconds. So I got to do something about minutes here. Now, I don't want this word hours to be here anymore. I need it to go away because I want to turn it into seconds. So what we're going to do when we're multiplying a fraction to a fraction, if you have the same thing top and bottom, you can cancel them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. And I know I'm going to have to do this again, so I'm just going to go ahead and make my structure. Okay, now here's why we did this. What this does is the word hours canceled with the word hours, and right now our current units of measure is minutes. Okay, and we're getting there. We're closer to seconds than we just were. So we want to do this again, but we want to get our minutes into seconds. Well, what do we remember about minutes and seconds? Is that 1 minute is 60 seconds. Okay, so I know I need the word minute to disappear. So that means the next minute has to go on the bottom. So I know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. Okay, and by doing that, I can get this word to cancel with this one, and that leaves my units of measure in seconds, which is what I want. That's what the question asked us to do, is to convert into seconds. So what we need to do now is, these are 3 fractions that are multiplying. So you're going to multiply across the top and bottom to get your final answer. So take your calculator and you're going to multiply 10 times 60 times 60, and I got 36,000. So I'm going to write on the top 36,000, and on the bottom it's 1 times 1 times 1. So that's not actually going to change anything. It's just a 1 on the bottom. And it's very important, remember to bring your units of measure over. And that 36,000 is in seconds. And that's going to be our first conversion. We went from hours into seconds. Okay, so hopefully you got a little bit of a feel for it. We're going to use the measurements from the front to help us with this. All right, so let's try this again. So how many inches are there in 15 miles? So if we look, we need to look in our distance section. And we got inches and we got miles. Okay, I'm noticing that I've got miles and feet. And if I can get miles and feet, I can get into miles. And I know how to get from inches to feet because we know this conversion, that there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So we're going to use that information to build this conversion on the back. So we're starting with 15 miles. Okay. And it's really over 1. Now, we're trying to get miles into inches. So to get closer to inches, we're going to go to feet first. And so what we know about miles and feet is there is 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So I have to decide which goes on top and which goes on bottom. So the word miles is on top, so the next time it appears, it needs to be on the bottom. So the word mile will cancel out. So we got 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Okay, and the whole reason for doing that is I got the word mile to cancel out. My current unit is feet. So we want to go one more time because we need our units to be in inches. And we know that there are 12 inches is 1 foot. So I need the word foot to go away. So all that's left is the word inches. So the word foot goes on the bottom. 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay. And that cancels out the feet and leaves us in a unit of measure of inches, which is what the problem asked us to do. So now we want to multiply across top and bottom. So we have 15 times 5,280 times 12 equals this big long number. You want to write the whole thing, 950,400. So 950,400. And remember, that's inches because that was the last unit. We didn't convert out of inches. And then take a look at the bottom, the denominator. 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1. So in this case, it didn't make a difference. So really, all we really need is this top part. Okay, so 15 miles is 950,400 inches. All right, let's try some more so we can get the hang of this. So how many yards are there in 639 inches? Before I even look anything up, I'm just going to write 639 inches so I can get my structure going to help me think. Okay, so let's look at our organizer on the front. Yards. Oh, look, we have yards and inches here. Is that what we're wanting to do? We have inches and we want to go into yards. So we know that 1 yard is 36 inches. So let's take that knowledge and what can we do with it back here? So I'm in inches and I need the word inches to go away. So I'm going to write the 36 inches on the bottom, and 36 inches is 1 yard. They're the same measure. And by doing that, I got the word inches to cross off, and the only word left is yard. That's the unit of measure the problem wanted us to do, so we're done. We don't have to make any more conversions. This was just a one step. So when we take a look, we're going to multiply across the top and the bottom. So we have 639 times 1 gives us 639, and we're in yards, over 36. There's no inches or anything because see how that unit got canceled out. Well, we don't want to leave it in this form. We want to go ahead and simplify this. So we're going to take our handy dandy calculator and we're going to say 639 divided by 36, and that's going to give us 17.75 yards. So almost 18 yards is 639 inches. Okay, let's try another example. Let's see, go ahead and pause the video, try to get this set up and started, and then come back and check to see how you did, to see if you're getting the hang of how to start the problem. All right, to get started, you always write down what you've got. There's only currently 1 unit, and you'll learn more about having more than 1 unit later. So we put it over 1. Now, gallons to ounces. So when we look at our organizer, that's down here in the volume, and we want to get from gallons all the way down here to ounces. We don't have a direct jump. So when you don't have a direct jump, what we're going to do is we're going to have to go into quarts, and then into pints, and then into cups, and then we can get our ounces. So this is going to be a little bit longer, and let's see what happens. So keep this close, and you might have to pause to flip over to double check it. Okay, so I'm going to do this so we can kind of see both of them. So we want gallons into ounces. So we're going to get our gallons into quarts first. So 1 gallon is 4 quarts. We need the word gallon to go away. So 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Okay, and I did that to get rid of the word gallon. Now I'm currently in quarts, and that's not where we want to stop. We want to keep going. Okay. So we've got to get our quarts into our pints, and we know that 1 quart is 2 pints. And we did that because this gets rid of quarts, and now we're currently in pints. If the question asked for pints, we'd be done. But we're going to keep going. We're going to get into cups next. Okay, so now we know that there is 1 pint is 2 cups. Okay, and I'm just checking to make sure I'm able to cancel from top to bottom. So now I'm in cups. I'm almost there. We only have 1 more conversion to make. Okay, then you know that 1 cup is 8 ounces. So the C's, because one's on top, one's on bottom, they cancel. And now I'm in ounces. That's what we wanted the whole time. We just didn't have a shortcut way to do it, so we just had to go through this whole conversion group here. Now we're going to multiply across top and bottom. What I do notice is it's all ones on the bottom. So 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is going to be 1. So go ahead and pause the video, multiply across the top, and let's see what you get. When I multiplied all the way across on top, I got 288, and I remembered to put my units of measure at the end. All right, just 2 more examples, and you can try your practice. So how many pounds are there in 12.23 tons? So I'm not going to worry about what the question's asking. I just want to get the words down, the work down. So we got 2.23 tons. So I got myself started here. All right, now go and look at your organizer and let's see what it says about these weights. Okay, so here we go. It says that 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. And I want to go into pounds. So I just need to do the one conversion. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Now you have to make a decision when you go to write these down, what goes where. Because the word tons needs to go away, the next one has to go on the bottom so they can cancel with each other, top and bottom. So we know 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Okay, the word tons cancel with each other and we're left in the unit of pounds, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so we're going to multiply across on the top and the bottom, and the bottom in this case is just 1, so it's not going to be as part of our answer. And so we'll have 12.23 times 2,000, and I got 24,460. 4,460, and then you want to be sure you put the unit of measures that we converted into as part of your answer. All right, one last one. Okay, so here we have a rectangle. It has a length of 5 feet and a width of 18 inches. Notice these are in different units of measure, feet and inches. What is the perimeter of the rectangle in inches? Okay, so perimeter, remember, is add up all the sides. So if this is 18 inches, we already know that that's going to be 18 inches because that's how rectangles work. I need to convert 5 feet into inches. So I'm just going to kind of come over here. I'm going to say 5 feet because that's what I'm starting with. And I need to go into inches. So hopefully you're starting to get a hang of this and you know that feet and inches, that 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay. And why did I put the feet on the bottom? I have a choice. I can put them on the top or the bottom, but remember, you need the words to be opposite each other so you're able to cancel them out as part of the multiplication process. When I multiply across top and bottom, I get 60 inches on top over 1. So 5 feet is 60 inches. So that means this side is 60 inches and this side is 60 inches. Okay. To find perimeter, you can add them up from right here, or we have there's 2 sides that are 18 inches plus 2 more sides that are 60 inches. So what's that going to equal? 2 times 18 is 36. 2 times 60 is 120. When I add 36 to 120, I get 156. Don't forget your units of measure. It's in inches. All right. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Give the practice a try. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in class.